Today may be a sad day for uh, ITRM stock, since today is the day that the stock should be delisted. Um, I spoke with someone at ITRM, and I explained my concern. The stock is currently selling at approximately 35 cents, but let's take a look at what really can happen. Uh, so 180 days ago, they received a letter from the NASDAQ, and they got an extension for as far as their delisting goes. They were underneath a dollar trading, and we know that they had some problems in terms of getting their phase 3 done properly. Uh, what happens if a company fails to comply is the following. If a company fails to comply, if the conditions that trigger the deficiency notice are not met in time, the NASDAQ will then send the company a delisting letter, which must be disclosed to the public within 4 days. So we'll probably be seeing that letter is at the company within 4 days. Now, there's an appeal process that a company can use. If it feels that it doesn't deserve to be delisted or can regain compliance in a reasonable amount of time, once the company receives the list letter, it has 7 days to request a hearing with the NASDAQ listing qualification panel to present its case, which postpones the delisting process until the panel makes a decision. Unless an appeal is filed, the company's stock is halted and then delisted after 7 days. If the appeal is rejected, the company also has the option to appeal to the SEC or in federal court. The NASDAQ gives the opportunity an additional 15 days to do so, but begins its final delisting procedures during that time. So what is going to happen here? Yes, the company will get a delisting notice. Yes, it's important that the legal department takes on the responsibility of getting a letter of challenge to the NASDAQ. That should take, 10 days or so. Uh, the stock won't be delisted at that point, but we will see a letter saying that it's going to be delisted. The next thing that'll happen is the company will appeal to the SEC if the NASDAQ does not extend another 180-day period. So there's much to be worried about and maybe much not to be worried about. Now, I took it upon myself to call the company in Ireland. I also called them in Chicago. And what I was told by uh, Louise Barrett, who seemed like a very nice and honest person, uh, they are not in delisting status yet until the end of the day. The NASDAQ has specific procedures, and only after the date of delisting comes, which will occur at the end of the day, she assured me, then they can start the process of appealing and asking the NASDAQ for an extension. I then asked her about, well, what about the reapplication of phase 3? And her answer was, we cannot give any information yet, but more information will be coming. Now, from the tone of Louise Barrett, I can tell you that I trust her. So my guess is that we're not going to see an immediate delisting of ITRM stock, and that the process for reapplication for phase 3 is still ongoing. Uh, Louise Barrett is the VP of legal at the company, and I've done some background on her. She seems to be an upfront and honest person. Again, you can tell a lot by the person's tone of voice, and the tone that I received was one of, we got a handle on it. That's all I have to tell you about ITRM stock. Uh, I know that they have quite a few things going on, and that this phase 3 is extremely important. Uh, Full disclosure, I own 200,000 shares of the stock, uh, and I personally am not going to tell you what to do at all. I don't give financial advice, but I'm going to hold on to my 200,000 shares. I appreciate the time you give me in listening to me, and I wish everyone the best of luck. God bless.